Alright guys, so bringing a quick update to you on the engines, and then we'll do some tech tips and stuff in the next video, I think. So basically, a lot happened recently. As you can see, this room is a complete disaster again. It's back to working on jet skis. So basically, I went and I didn't feel like dealing with rebuilding that broken stator, so I knew a guy that had a complete engine that he had just put back together with like a stock crank in it and like put new rings on it and stuff. And so I went, got a really good deal on the complete engine, and then tore it apart, put my PJS crank with the ADR rebuild into that, which is this one. Like these are the cylinders, the cases, the stator that I bought from him, and and then obviously the exhaust on it. It didn't have an exhaust, so put my exhaust on it, put my head on it, kept the pistons, rings, cylinders, cases, stator, my original crank, because this is the original one over here, and I just don't trust it to survive, so I put my crank in there, and then obviously my intake manifold, for my dual carbs. Here's the stock one that was on it, and then took these apart and just went through, replaced the pilot jets from a 70. It was a 70 originally in the beginning of the season, and it was running great, but I had to have the mixture screw out too far, and they would end up falling out, and like while I was riding, it would start running like crap because it fell out. So we've got then I put 75s in it instead, so I went up a 5, so from 70 to 75, and then I had to put the screws all the way in almost, and it was still running a little bit rich, like pretty much all season. I just didn't feel like taking these things off and doing a jet change, because it does take like 45 minutes to like an hour just to get the carbs off and change them and then put them back on, and then the whole time you risk dropping a bunch of stuff down there, and I have to use like my special wrench that I made to like get in there and be able to loosen the bolts at the base here, or the nuts at the base. So just never dealt with it, didn't feel like it. I knew I was going to end up taking the engine out at the end of the summer, so I just rode it like that. So I just got some 72.5s in there, so it's like right in the middle, should be great. So that should be running all good now. So those are all set up, obviously, with the Wax Racing block off plates, and then over here is just a bunch of extra engines and cylinders and some heads and stuff like that, but that's not really a big deal. So yeah, that's basically it. So I got my engine all back together. I have my other lightened flywheel here because we don't learn our lesson, and we're gonna put another lightened flywheel on it, even though the last one destroyed it. And that's basically what's going on with the engine right now. So everything's back together with this. It all looks kosher. Throw the flywheel on it. I have a new starter. Throw the cover on it, and it should be pretty much good to go off to the races. So we're gonna see how it does, I guess. So basically, that's the red engine the engine for my red ski all put together and basically done. And then I've got to pull out the flat deck engine, do some crank seals on it, and then we should be all rocking, ready to go for the season. So basically, that's the deal, and I'll hit you guys with the next video. We'll probably do some tech tips or go over some other parts I have going on or something. So anywho, have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next one.